Breaking news today has millions of seniors across America talking, and if you're one of the more than 70 million people who rely on Social Security benefits every single month, then this update directly affects you. The Social Security Administration has finally revealed the official cost of living adjustment for 2025, and the numbers are shocking. Seniors are stunned, experts are analyzing what this increase really means, and beneficiaries are wondering how much more money they can expect in their monthly checks starting next year. This is not just another routine update, this is the biggest financial announcement of the year for retirees, disabled Americans, and anyone counting on SSI and SSDI to pay their bills. For months, seniors have been waiting anxiously, watching inflation numbers, and listening to economists predict where the COLA would land. Some thought it might be small, others hoped for a bigger bump, and now that the official figure is here, reactions are pouring in from every corner. If you depend on Social Security to cover your rent, buy groceries, pay for medicine, or simply make ends meet, this announcement could make a real difference in your life. That's why it's so important to break down what this increase means, how it will affect your monthly check, and what you can do to prepare for the changes coming in 2025. So let's start with the facts. The Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA, is the annual raise that Social Security beneficiaries receive to keep pace with inflation. It's not a bonus, it's not a handout, it's simply designed to make sure your benefits don't lose value as prices rise. Every October, the Social Security Administration announces the new COLA for the upcoming year, and those adjustments begin in January. This year, for 2025, the COLA has officially been revealed, and seniors are stunned by the size of the increase. After years of high inflation, painful grocery bills, and skyrocketing housing costs, many were hoping for relief, and while some will see this raise as good news, others are questioning if it's really enough to keep up with the financial reality they're facing. The official COLA for 2025 has been set at 3.2%. That means if you're receiving $1,800 per month right now, your benefit will increase by about $58 starting in January. If your monthly benefit is $2,500, you'll see an increase of about $80. And while those amounts may not seem life-changing, for millions of retirees and disabled Americans living on fixed incomes, every dollar matters. For many, that small bump could mean a little extra cushion for groceries, an easier time covering utility bills, or the ability to finally afford a prescription they've been skipping. But at the same time, many seniors are saying, wait a minute, prices have gone up way more than 3.2% this year, so how is this really helping me? That's where the conversation becomes more complicated. Experts explain that the COLA is calculated based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, also known as the CPIW, during the third quarter of the year. That means July, August, and September inflation numbers determine your raise. Critics have long argued that this measure doesn't truly reflect the spending patterns of seniors, who spend a much larger share of their income on healthcare, housing, and food, categories that have often risen faster than overall inflation. So while a 3.2% increase may sound fair on paper, in reality many seniors feel they're still falling behind. Let's take a closer look at what this means for different groups. For retirees who have been depending on Social Security as their primary source of income, this increase may be a welcome relief but still far short of what's needed to cover day-to-day expenses. If you've been to the grocery store recently, you know that a loaf of bread, a carton of eggs, or a gallon of milk all cost significantly more than they did just a few years ago. Housing costs have soared, and energy bills continue to climb. Seniors are looking at this 3.2% raise and asking, will this actually help me live better, or will it just keep me barely treading water? For those on SSDI, the story is similar. Disabled Americans often face not only higher living costs but also medical expenses that eat into their limited budgets. An extra $50 or $70 per month may help, but when you're facing hundreds in copays or medication costs, it doesn't go very far. And for SSI recipients, who are some of the most vulnerable beneficiaries with the lowest incomes, the increase means their monthly checks will rise slightly, but they still struggle with the harsh reality of trying to survive on very little. Still, there is no denying that this is good news compared to the alternative. Imagine if inflation had cooled completely and the COLA came in at zero. That would have meant no increase at all, leaving seniors stuck with the same benefit amount while their expenses continue climbing. At least with a 3.2% raise, there is some recognition that costs are higher and seniors need more support. The question is whether it's enough. Now, many of you might be asking, what does this mean for me personally? How much more will I get? Let's run through a few examples. If your benefit is $1,200 per month, you'll get about $38 extra starting in January. If it's $1,800, the increase will be around $58. If you're receiving $2,000 per month, your raise will be $64. For higher earners with $3,000 in benefits, the raise will be around $96. These numbers might sound small, but remember, they add up over the course of a year. That extra $58 per month becomes nearly $700 over the year. And for a couple receiving benefits together, those raises can easily add up to over $1,200 more in 2025 compared to this year. But here's where seniors are stunned, not everyone is celebrating. Some are actually shocked at how low the number feels. After seeing COLA increases of 8.7% in 2023 and 5.9% in 2022, many were bracing for another big jump. Instead, 3.2% feels modest, and for those who have been struggling to catch up, it's almost like taking a step backward. Inflation may have cooled in Washington's statistics, but in the real world, seniors know the cost of living is still painfully high. This is why advocacy groups are calling for a new way of calculating COLA. They argue that using the CPIE, or Consumer Price Index for the elderly, would more accurately reflect the spending patterns of seniors. Under that formula, COLA increases would likely be higher, especially in years when healthcare costs surge. Congress has debated this idea for years, but so far, no changes have been made. For now, seniors are stuck with the current formula, which many feel leaves them behind. Another major concern is Medicare Part B premiums. Each year, these premiums are automatically deducted from Social Security checks, and increases in premiums can eat up much of the COLA raise. For 2025, Medicare premiums are expected to go up, though the exact number will be announced later this fall. That means while your gross Social Security benefit may rise by 3.2%, the actual amount you see in your bank account could be less once Medicare costs are factored in. For many seniors, this feels like taking one step forward and one step back. At the same time, financial planners are reminding seniors to look at the bigger picture. Even a small COLA increase can be helpful if used wisely. That extra $50 or $80 per month could be directed toward paying down debt, building a small emergency fund, or covering an expense that has been a constant stressor. Seniors who budget carefully may find that this raise gives them just a little more breathing room. Beyond the personal impact, this COLA increase also has huge implications for the Social Security system itself. Each raise adds billions in costs to the program, which is already facing long-term funding challenges. The Social Security trust funds are projected to run short in the next decade unless Congress takes action. While that doesn't mean benefits will disappear, it does mean tough decisions are ahead. For now, though, seniors can focus on the good news: benefits will be higher in 2025. It's also worth noting how COLA increases affect future retirees. Because benefits are calculated based on your earnings history and adjusted for inflation, each year's COLA builds into your lifetime benefit amount. That means even small raises compound over time, making a real difference in your retirement security down the road. Younger workers paying into the system today can also look at these numbers as a preview of how their benefits might grow in the future. Reactions across the country have been mixed. Some seniors are grateful, saying any increase is better than none and recognizing that inflation has cooled somewhat. Others are disappointed, saying the raise feels like a slap in the face compared to the soaring prices they deal with every day. Advocacy groups are already gearing up to push lawmakers for bigger reforms, from changing the COLA formula to raising benefits across the board. For now, The bottom line is simple: if you're receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, your monthly check will go up by 3.2% starting in January 2025. That's official, that's confirmed, and that's the news seniors have been waiting for. The exact amount you'll receive depends on your current benefit, but you can expect to see the increase in your first check of the new year. So as you prepare for 2025, take this into account when planning your budget. Think about how you can use that extra money wisely, whether it's for essentials, a little bit of savings, or just easing some of the pressure that comes with living on a fixed income. And keep in mind, the conversation about Social Security is far from over. With elections on the horizon and debates raging in Washington, changes to the program could still be ahead. For now, though, seniors can at least take comfort in knowing their checks will be a little bigger next year.